You know, you've got what Tate has to offer, but you're what? You're respectable. Why?
Well, I have a completely different background than him, first of all. And also, my feeling in life is whenever you can, be nice. That's like a general guideline.
Do you mean nice or good?
I mean both.
Okay.
Nice as well. I get the posturing. I get how it would be attractive to young men. I get it. If I was a young man, I would certainly be drawn to him, and I was to many fighters. And I accepted a lot of personality flaws in people that I admired as fighters because they were very successful at doing this one insanely difficult thing.
Right.
And oftentimes that requires a certain amount of narcissism. It requires a certain amount of internal focus. And ironically enough, not at the championship level. Ironically enough, it gets you close, but it doesn't get you to be the king. The kings are almost
precisely
universally disciplined, focused, and generally kind. They're some of the nicest people, the best at the most difficult thing athletically to do. And the most difficult, you're conquering
why do you
trained
think that
men.
is?
I think you have to be.
Why?
I think
Why
Miyamoto Musashi wrote about this in the Book of Five Rings. You must have balance in everything in life. If you have imbalance, you can get pretty far because you're so
specialized.
Right, you're so driven.
Yep.
But you will fall prey to the balanced man.
Yeah, well that's exactly my point.
You will also recognize characteristics in him that you envy and that you wish you had yourself. Like if you're a narcissist and a sociopath, you know you are, and you can't really be proud of yourself. You can't. You don't have the benefit of the positive feedback that you get from true kindness to others. You don't have that.
Well, you also know that your reputation is founded on sand. And one of the ways to rationalize that is, well, everyone does that.
Right.
Everyone's like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but then you don't trust or like anyone.
Right. And then you're really alone.
That's for sure.
You're really alone. And then if you do achieve success, it's hollow because you realize like...
So, you know, you just outlined there the progression that Carl Jung identified as characteristic of individuation, right? With the second thing that you said. So imagine that you start an incel, right? You're ineffectual and you're rejected as a young man. Now there are exceptions, but let's just play that out as the unhappy majority. Okay, now you look for a shadow figure to sharpen you up, to toughen you up, and to make you strive at least along one dimension, right? And so then you do that. Well, then the next thing that happens in the Jungian stage progression is, for a man, it's integration of the anima, which is the feminine part. And it's integration, it's not replacement. It's like, oh, well, then you discover the utility of empathy and compassion and kindness and mercy and care, while still being able to deal out justice, let's say. And so then you bridge that gap, and then that integration you just said, even among fighters, that's what puts them in the highest place, right? That's right. That's right. So, but it's hard for the people, it's hard for those who are completely disaffected and also quite angry about it. You know, the people who are interested in the pathway that Tate offers, they're not so unhappy that he's hard on women because they're pretty mad at women. And so, you know, if it's the bitch or me, then I'll pick me.
Right.
You know, right, exactly. And so, and it is very crucial to get this progression correct because monster's better than wimp.
Right.
Right. But the question is, what's better than monster? And so it's very interesting that you made those comments on the fighting side because you wouldn't necessarily think that it would be true in that world as well.
Well, one of the best examples is your countryman, Georges St. Pierre. One of the greatest of all time. One of the nicest guys I've ever met. And if you didn't know that he was one of the greatest fighters of all time, you would never guess it. You would never guess it talking to him. He's curious. He's interesting. He's intelligent. He's very well read. He's always interested in different things. He's constantly searching for new information. And as a martial artist, he is still on a quest of improvement, even though he's retired from competing. Always trains.